stuff, now having to say beat Duke with a straight face to appease these local yokels down there in North Carolina. Bubba's yucking it up there. No, his boss now is Bubba. Thanks, Bubba. Thanks, Bubba.
Billy's first words were beat Duke.
It would be less humiliating for Bill Belichick to be standing on a stage right now complimenting Woody Johnson and saying how much he respects the Jets organization. But apparently that's a bridge too far. We'll get into this story from Seth Wickersham today. Let's dive right in and pick this thing apart. Hey, Matt, you're done with your other job?
Yes. What did I walk into? Oh, my God. I had to get into the show a few minutes late here, and I walked right in at the beginning of that press conference. I feel like I've walked into an alternate reality.
It's sad.
The hell was that? No, sad is the only word for it. This is embarrassing. Because a quick question. Where's this man's support system saying, hey, Bill, maybe not this? Was there anybody in his life who said, Bill, I think you're above this? No, instead he's surrounded by people like Mike Lombardi who say, well, you have to be stupid to be in the NFL. You want to be in college. Yeah, go for it, Bill. Do it. This is a sad thing to watch, man. It is.
It seems like some of his sons support it, and his sons are probably going to be set up with some jobs here as well. So you're going to get, a few of them supporting it. I don't know. Maybe not that I know the man, if I had to guess, maybe he's helped alienate a few of them by dating a 24-year-old and them looking at it with a side eye. Like, it happens. Sometimes a rich old man is going to date a young woman. I have no problem with it. I get that some do. But maybe they start to wonder, like, all right, is he actually going to marry this girl? And then I have to worry about her getting a chunk? Like, that happens, so maybe that's what's going on. I don't know, but you're right. Like, was there anyone in his ear at all that said, do you really want to do this?
So that's my takeaway from this. This was a little cringy. This was
Joe.
This might have been the most cringiest. Remember the sad press conference with the Celtics? When they were all up there, like it was like Chris Humphries and like all these jerks. Like that was a really sad press conference. This thing might be the worst thing we've aired on this radio station when it came to cringe. I think taking removing the hot take about it, I am starting to wonder about Belichick as a human. Like, is he an egomaniac that needs this attention without a support system? You mentioned dating a younger woman, and maybe some people have alienated him. Matt, you mentioned all the people that could be coming along with him who all enable him. Mm-hmm. Essentially, this is Bill Belichick's world, right? The people around him who support him give him the support. But where is this man getting support? It's now the University of North Carolina. Like, not the NFL, not anybody in the NFL. I'm just starting to look at a 72-year-old man and say, is it all right up there?
Yeah, I think it's all. Yeah, I think he's cognitively fine. I just think this is what he really wants. And that is he wants to run the whole show, and this is why he ultimately is not going to be back in the NFL. And again, we'll pick through this Seth Wickersham story. I keep teasing it. You might have read it by now. If not, we'll read it for you and go through it because I find it very interesting. Because I think this proves my theory in that, like, I think he could have bent a little bit here, waited around for an NFL job. Maybe someone was going to give him an opportunity, but he just wasn't going to have the power that he now holds at the University of North Carolina. It's beneath him. He shouldn't have to do this, but he does. I get that he does want to coach, so fine. Like, do whatever you love doing until you're in the grave, but do you need it that bad? You couldn't have just, again, Jimmy brought up the other day, if this is just about the love of coaching, there was that report that Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, offered him the defensive coordinator job last year. If you really just want to love to coach and you want to coach, you could have done that. I don't think that would have tarnished his career all that much. Now that he has to wear powder blue and say beat Duke and answer to a guy literally named Bubba, it dents your career, dude. It does, or at least the legacy. It does for now. It does to me.
I'm just looking at him personally. Like, this man, now we're gonna watch Jim. This is another thing. We're all gonna watch now. We watched what Deion Sanders did. We're now gonna watch ACC football. I hope you are. I don't know. Yeah. You're gonna watch the game against Charlotte in Richmond, the Wake Forest game at the end of the year. Like,
probably
Duke,
not. If I'm being completely honest,
I just
probably not.
If Bill O'Brien still has Boston College, I'd watch that to see if Bill O'Brien could kick his ass.
Not on the schedule until 2028. But my whole point is like, I want to see if Bill can persevere through this, because today was a bad look.
What is this Bubba guy wearing? by the way.
Oh,
do you see that?
Oh, you missed this part?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
so-
I came in late. It's like I've walked into an alternate reality. Are you kidding me?
He's trying to be funny by making Bill Belichick laugh. By I tore the sleeves off my suit like you used to tear the sleeves off your hoodie because I get the bit.
It's the cut hoodie, see?
Oh my god.
But to you looking at it, not knowing that, you
Yeah.
Now, that's even better that you didn't know that. Oh, that's great.
Like what is going on here? That's the only thing I can say about this.
It's sad.
What is going on?
This
here?
is really
sports
sad.
entertainment. This is what this is.
Yeah,
This is the circus.
it is. It is a sad circus.
This is like Ric Flair's last match.
All right, so we'll get into this story.
Does that mean Belichick's gonna pass out twice during it?
Let's quickly check back in with Chapel Bill. It is
Techniques that have been very successful for me through the years that I know that other NFL teams are using. Whether other college teams are using them or not, I mean, some are, some aren't. But I just know that these will prepare the players, for that. So I'm not. And then from the general manager, head coach model, again, it's a similar type of situation. We're evaluating high school kids and college transfer portal players. NFL teams are evaluating college.
We'll see if he says anything actually interesting, and we'll play it later.
Spoiler alert: he won't.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's dive into this Seth Wickersham story. Again, Felger and Mazz today. Mike and Tony are out. Holiday season, it happens. So you get Jim, Joe Murray, and Matt McCarthy here, and you at 617-779-0985. We'll get to your call shortly. They met every week. Bill Belichick and a handful of his former assistants with the New England Patriots, Matt Patricia, Michael Lombardi, Josh McDaniels, to name a few. Men with whom he had won the Super Bowls, all of them out of work. They'd chat over Zoom and go through each NFL game as they once did in Foxborough, as only they could. Teams, trends, salaries, schematic shifts, stuff only they knew what to look for, questions only they knew to ask. A common language and way of thinking, once the envy of the NFL and beyond. From other sports to business schools, now valued less around the league. The subtext was unspoken but understood. Which NFL teams might make a coaching change this year? And of those teams, Matt and Joe, which of them would be interested in a 72-year-old, 8-time Super Bowl champion? Jesus, I know where this story's coming from, by the way. When you get that, you know who's giving Seth Wickersham the little details in this story. It's six. And of those teams, which would Belichick want most? According to sources with direct knowledge, the group deemed the Chicago Bears were probably the most attractive job, but the team brass was unlikely to consider Belichick. The group expects the same thing that most around the league do, that the Bears will go offense, hoping to give quarterback Caleb Williams a chance at a career, probably targeting Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. Before I go on, would that, in your guys' opinion, have been the best spot?
I think it would have been a pretty good spot for Bill. Historic franchise, young quarterback, an opportunity to mold the next generation, and that would be good good for Bill's legacy. So yeah, I think that would have been a decent spot for him.
looks good on paper, but bad organization. They turned down Jim Harbaugh. Out. No.
The New York Jets were a non-starter, writes Seth Wickersham. Belichick had issues with owner Woody Johnson back in 2000 before Johnson officially brought the team, and he had been critical this past season in his media roles, which are Johnson's horrific stewardship. Maybe the Giants, where he had spent the 80s. And in fact, before I go on, like I said earlier, now that he's sitting up here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, for the University of North Carolina to become the head coach of the Tar Heels, it would be less humiliating today or in a month from now that he's on a stage in Florham Park and becoming the next head coach of the Jets. If both he and Johnson, if not buried the hatchet, should have at least hidden it for a few years, but Bill's supremely stubborn, and he'd rather maintain a near 30-year grudge than to create maybe one last pathway into the NFL. I think he could have fixed that if he wanted to. He just refuses to.
Agree. Couldn't agree more.
All right, we'll go on from here. The New York Giants, writes Seth Wickersham. Belichick knew it would be a rebuild. He'd have the New York press at his heels. Plus, he believes the team would do best to retain its current coach, Brian Daboll. Dallas was a potential spot. Nobody could take a collection of talent and turn it into a team like Belichick, but nobody knew if owner Jerry Jones would move on from Mike McCarthy, and if he'd want to hand over the team to Bill Belichick. Again, key point, because of course we know Jerry Jones throughout his tenure as the owner of the Dallas Cowboys has to have his creepy, perverted fingers in the mix. He's basically the team's GM. And that's not going to change if he were to hire Belichick. Jacksonville was another a potential landing spot. But was it the right one, writes Seth Wickersham. On his podcast, Michael Lombardi took a shot at Tony Khan, son of owner Shad Khan, who for years has run an analytics department emblematic of the problems with the current NFL. Parenthetically, let me add, analytics departments, they're going on, and they exist in every avenue of professional and collegiate sports at this point. It's not going to change. He might have less to deal with now at UNC because he put in his 400-page manifesto, I'm not dealing with your nerds. Get the nerds out of here. But that's not just an NFL issue. You know what I mean?
No, I couldn't agree more. So if you expect that to be an issue in Jacksonville, it's going to be an issue wherever you go.
Seth Wickersham goes on to write, additionally, there wasn't a lot of back-channel communication between anyone close to Belichick and the owners of the Jags. The league and 3 teams are almost 2 years into battling a discrimination lawsuit by Brian Flores. Belichick's feelings towards the NFL have shifted as he has told Confidence. Look at the past year. Robert Kraft, whose life and legacy was forever altered by Belichick, fired him in January. And before I go on here, too, just with these first couple of paragraphs, this sounded like when it's him and Patricia and all his Bobos and Josh McDaniels, who I think is good, not great, mostly also propped up by Brady, Michael Lombardi. This is like 8th grade boys sitting in their bedroom discussing the hot freshmen who wouldn't even know that they existed, but you're nitpicking what's wrong with them. Oh, she's kind of hot. And all these pretending they have a chance, and these girls wouldn't look at you sideways. It's a scenario I know from experience. Oh, the Jets, well, I've always kind of hated the owner. He's a dick. And, well, Shad Khan, I mean, I'd like him in the Jags, but, Tony Khan runs the analytics department. I wouldn't want to deal with that. Dude, they don't want you. This is why he ended up having to take this job. And we'll go on through this story because it's like, it's not the NFL telling me to go F myself. I'm telling the NFL to go F themselves. No, it's not that, no matter how hard you try to spin it.
Well, I'll say this. This show has been known for narratives. And I think that Bill Belichick and his Zoom staff has created a great narrative that they didn't like any of the options that were available. So the next best thing was to go to college. That's their narrative.
The problem is the guys he has on Zoom with him. Would you want anything to do with Michael Lombardi?
No.
Would you want anything to do with Matt Patricia?
No.
How about Josh McDaniels and his 2 head coaching experiences? Would you want anything to do with him?
I tell you what, I would take Josh McDaniels because he's younger, he's an offensive-minded guy. I would take him as a head coach of a collegiate program. I don't
He's
mind.
only
At the
been good
NFL
with
level.
Brady, though.
At the NFL level.
Oh, at the
That's what I'm
NFL?
talking about.
No, not at the NFL level. No.
My only thing is with that is, could someone else be in control and McDaniels do it? I don't know that yet. We don't know that.
No, because he failed with the Rams that one season.
That's true. He did. That's right. But would we want it? Probably not. Would anybody around the league want it? No.
Good luck selling to your fan base, hey, we're bringing in Josh McDaniels, who was a complete disaster everywhere he was. Yep.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.